Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Holds Barred. My name is Brian. Joining me today is... That's your line? Well, this is Shuri. All of a sudden, she's shy. I don't know why. But today, we are going to do some WrestleMania 41 predictions. Yes, I know it's just around the corner. We're already past Royal Rumble. We're even past the Raw after the Royal Rumble. But I want to get my predictions out there and see if they match up with some of your all's predictions. So let's get into it. So I want to kind of use WrestleMania 40 as kind of like a template as to what this WrestleMania looked like. I believe there was about 7 matches on both nights, although one of those was a Money in the Bank cash-in, so it was kind of short. But we're going to kind of use it as a template to kind of do our predictions. So we're going to have 2 nights, obviously. I think we have about 7 matches on each card. There might be one night with 8 matches, but there's probably going to be a really quick match in there. So night 1 of WrestleMania 41, according to my predictions, we're going to start off a little hot. We're going to have John Cena going one-on-one with Logan Paul. Yes, I know Cena is, it looks like he's on a warpath to get to a title match at Mania. I just don't think it's time yet. I think if you got him till the end of the calendar year, which I believe is the plan, then I think you need to stretch it. You need to milk that. You need to make fans really care about him getting another win, or getting another championship, rather. I think putting him in with Logan Paul for WrestleMania, that's going to grab headlines. That's going to grab casual viewers. Everyone knows who John Cena is outside of wrestling at this point. They've heard the name. They've seen him in movies. And you have Logan Paul, who also transcends wrestling itself. You hear those 2 names going against each other, I think people are going to tune in. I think it's going to be a good match on the card. And I think it'd be great to kick off all of WrestleMania with it. Even though they're part-timers, I think they can put on a good, consistent match to start off WrestleMania with. Next up, we have our women's world title with champion Rhea Ripley taking on who I think is going to win the Elimination Chamber, Io Sky. I think these 2 are going to have a fun kind of budding rivalry, more face-face. I don't think there's going to be a designated heel in this match. It's be more of a competition match between the 2. It's going to be a really fun match to watch. Even though I don't remember them wrestling before, I think they'll have a lot of chemistry in that ring, and I think, we'll definitely have a great match there. Now for our men's U.S. Championship, I think I'm going to do this as a 3-way. I think it's going to be LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. I haven't really planned out how this one's going to come to be. You want Fatu at WrestleMania. But I think Solo is also deserving of a spot at Mania. I think he's on a hiatus right now for all I know. But I think he'll be back. I think he deserves a spot at WrestleMania. And you could even give him the win on this one. I think he'd be great as a champion, a good heel champion. I think Fatu will have a strong showing. You don't have him take the pin. Unfortunately, that would mean LA Knight would have to take the pin. But let's face it, LA Knight, he's on the way down. He had a skyrocket of popularity about a year ago. They didn't really capitalize on it heavily, but I think we're starting to see him plateau or see people getting used to him. He needs a little bit more of a spark. But I think in between now and then, I think LA Knight will actually get the U.S. title from Nakamura, and then he will face Solo and Fatu at WrestleMania. So if you remember last year's WrestleMania, there was a weird, crazy tag team match because the tag team championships were unified. So they had both pairs of belts strung up high, and it was a ladder match. And whoever picked up one pair of belts won those respective titles, and then they left the match, leaving everyone else to battle out for the rest of the belts. I think they might keep doing that concept. Both tag divisions right now on both shows are not like huge storytellers. So I think you have enough there to kind of combine all those teams that are in those mixes. And the teams I think are going to go for it, I think you have DIY, who are the champs, War Raiders, who are the champs, the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, New Day, and the Creeds. Those 6 teams will all vie for those championships in the same similar type of match as last year. Both pair of titles strung up high, you pull them down, you automatically win those titles, and you leave everyone else to fight for the rest of the titles. Next up, our Women's U.S. Championship match. Chelsea Green taking on Jordan Grace. I think this is going to be a squash match. I think you bring Jordan in right to the main roster. You have her feud with Chelsea, and I think it's going to be a fun match. Chelsea is just as much fun in a long match as she is in a squash match, so I think fans are still going to be entertained. We're still going to love it, and we get to see a new star on the rise who is going to help give credentials to that championship, considering she was world champions in other promotions. So I could definitely see this match taking place. So now for our first big grudge match of the weekend, I think you have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in probably some kind of stipulation, because this cannot be one-on-one. Considering their history, I think this is possibly going to steal the entire weekend between these two. These guys know each other better than anyone else they've ever been in the ring with, so they're going to put on a great show. They're going to put on a great match. The only problem is where I have it booked right now, it's actually before our next big championship match, so hopefully it doesn't kill the crowd too much. But considering I have Jey Uso in the next match, I think the crowd's going to be alive and awake anyways, because he's going to have everybody eating. So let's get into that. I think it's going to be Jey Uso using his Royal Rumble guaranteed championship match at WrestleMania against Gunther. Now, I know we've seen this match. We just seen it. We just saw it 2 weeks ago. But I think this is going to be a different Jey. And the reason I think that is I think Gunther, who's going to be pissed because Jay's coming after him, I think Gunther's going to get more heelish. He's going to get more devious. I think he's going to take out Jimmy. So this is going to fire up Jey. We're going to get really behind Jey going into this run to WrestleMania. And we're going to get Jey that big win that he needs to be main event Jey Uso. And I think the crowd's going to be all over it. You're going to send everyone happy that night. And they're going to be eating everywhere. All in Las Vegas. So now that fans have had 12 to 16, maybe even 18 hours to get all the yeet out of their system, we're starting night 2 of WrestleMania. In the first match, we're going to have the IC champion, Braun Breaker, taking on Sheamus, the guy who's never won that title. He's been chasing it forever. Is he going to win it this year? Maybe. But that's not all who's in this match. You're also going to have the newest WWE superstar and one of the best luchadors in the world, Penta, and the leader of American Made himself, Chad Gable. This is going to be Gable's chance to perform on the big show, put on a great match. All 4 of those guys are going to put on a great match. You're going to have the heavy hitters of Braun Breaker and Sheamus just destroying people left and right. You're going to have Penta, who's going to do a little bit of everything. He can hit hard. He can fly all over the place. And then you're going to have the technical precision of Chad Gable. And all these guys are going to mix it up. It's going to be a hell of a match. Do I think Sheamus can pull it off and get the win? I think he can. I think that's going to be a great WrestleMania moment. Who's eating that pin? Well, probably going to be Chad Gable. But that's okay. Chad Gable is actually going to be on a Mania card. He's going to perform for all of us. And it's going to be a fantastic match, no matter what. Next up, we have another grudge match. Now, I have to assume this is going to happen. I thought Jade Cargill was coming back at the Royal Rumble. So I thought we were going to get some kind of development in this storyline of who took out Jade, what's going on, how's that going to affect the Women's Tag Team Championships. My answer, I don't know. I don't know what makes sense in this storyline. I don't know why it would make sense for Bianca to take out Jade. I believe they were tag team champions at the time, yeah. They were dominant. Why would she take out her tag team partner? Was it a jealousy thing? That's probably your best bet of how to get to this feud. No idea if that's the route they're going to take. It wouldn't make much sense. What do you do with Naomi? Well, I think Jade comes back, and I think you do Bianca and Naomi as the heels in this. It was their plan all along. Bianca was tired of Jade still in the spotlight, so she wanted her old friend Naomi to get the tag team championships with her. So they took her out. Well, then you have Jade take out Naomi. She's gone. She's out of the WrestleMania picture. And then you have Bianca versus Jade. Now, we all know that Jade's not the best in-ring performer, but apparently she has been at the Performance Center training her ass off. I think she's going to be well improved to what we've seen before. And I think they're going to have a great match. I don't think it's going to be an all-time great, but I think it'll be good. I think it's going to meet our expectations, probably surpass them, I should say. They're going to surpass our expectations. And I think it's going to set up a good feud that'll carry for a few more months. And I think it's great for both performers. Obviously, Bianca is in the upper echelon of women. She doesn't need to be going for a title at Mania. She doesn't need it. She's already been there, done that. She can have a great feud with Jade and propel Jade to the top of the card. Next, we have another grudge match. Unfortunately, you're going to take the Bloodline Hunter himself, Drew McIntyre. And for whatever reason, this is the rumor. It's pretty heavily rumored at the moment. So I'm going to have to take it because I just don't know where he fits in the rest of this. And I think you put Drew against Damian. Now, I would like Drew to be included in another match, but I think you need something for Damian, and I don't know where Damian factors in. You could put him in the U.S. title picture, but I think a grudge match for him, and you feed off the storylines of last year's WrestleMania, the cash in. I think it's good for both guys, but obviously Drew deserves way better. No offense against Damian. I like Damian Priest. I think he's great. He is definitely head and shoulders above where he was this time last year. I think Drew had the best year of his career, just in storylines, just showing that he belongs on top. He can handle himself on the microphone, handle himself in the ring, and I honestly think that he probably should have been booked somewhere in one of the world title pictures. What? What are you doing? You want to come talk about wrestling? Someone just needed some scratches, so I apologize for the inconvenience. We'll get back to the predictions here in 1 second. Hey, can you not rub against my mic? Thank you. Now on night 2, we also need another just mayhem and carnage match. We had a ladder match the night before, possibly more carnage with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So I think we need to do something with a lot of people, with a lot of carnage. I think we're going to have faction versus faction. I think it's going to be Judgment Day, Dom, Finn, Carlito, JD if he's back and healthy, and Liv Morgan and Raquel versus the Wyatt Six, Rowan, Gacy, Dexter, Bo Dallas, and Nikki Cross, and a just returned Alexa Bliss. I think this match is going to mimic kind of what we see in AEW with the Anarchy in the Arena. I think these guys are going to go Falls Count Anywhere. They're going to go all over the place, backstage, brawling everywhere. I think it's going to be a relatively quick match, but I think there's going to be picture-in-picture, split screen everywhere, just mayhem and carnage. I think it's going to be something crazy that we haven't seen in a long time in WWE, especially because it's going to be men and women all just brawling around the place. I think this will be a fun addition to night 2 of WrestleMania. It's going to get people to kind of get up off their seats, kind of just be like, what's going on? But it's not going to be super long to where it's going to tire anybody out. And the reason I think it's going to be this matchup is mainly because the Wyatt Six, since they've been targeting people who have betrayed their friends. Well, Judgment Day, you could take it all the way back to Edge if you wanted to, but let's just take it from last year. You had Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, both kicked out of the Judgment Day, betrayed, their boyfriends were taken away from them, their own tag team partners were screwing them over in world championship matches. I think this one makes a lot of sense, and again, I think it's going to be a short match, going to be chaotic, but it's going to be fun. Next up, we have a triple threat for the IC title for the women. You're going to have the champion Lyra Valkyria taking on Bayley, taking on Roxanne Perez. Both of the women's mid-card titles should be on WrestleMania, as long as they are built up in a match that deserves it. I think the Jordynne Grace Chelsea Green match deserves it because it makes a new star out of Jordynne Grace. It doesn't need to be long. Chelsea can survive a squash match. I think that's perfect. Now, with the IC Championship for the women, I think Lyra is a good performer. She still needs a little bit of a boost before she should really be on the Mania card, but that's where Bayley comes in. And you're already setting up this red-hot star in Roxanne Perez. They're already kind of feuding on NXT. I know they're involved in a match coming up this Saturday, so we'll see what happens there. But I think Perez also has a backstory with Lyra, so you could easily make this into a good storyline, and I think it's really going to propel that IC title for the women. Another thing with this match is Bayley, she's a Grand Slam champion, but with these mid-card titles, she's going to be a new type of Grand Slam champion. But I think Roxanne is going to win this one. Also on night 2, we will have the Women's Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair taking on Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's title. I don't have much to say about this. I'm just going to assume that Charlotte's going to win because it's Charlotte, and Charlotte always wins. LOL. So with WrestleMania 41, we get the 10-year anniversary of the heist of the century, WrestleMania 31. It was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title when all of a sudden, Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase to make it a triple threat, and then he pinned Roman Reigns to make it out of WrestleMania 31 as the WWE champion. Well, it's been 10 years now. We're building back on this feud. The betrayal from the Shield, Seth helping Cody take down the Bloodline last WrestleMania. I think Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, that's all you need in the match. I think it's going to be a hell of a feud on its own. It doesn't need a title. And think about the video package that's going to be for this one. There's a lot of footage to go through on that. Of course, Roman Reigns has to not be in the main event for the first time in, I can't even remember. I'm interested to see how they're going to actually build up this feud going into Mania. We've already seen a little bit of it. Seth becoming a little unhinged, taking out his anger on Roman. Roman's supposedly out for injury, but we'll see if he comes back, after the Elimination Chamber, goes right after Rollins. I think that's going to be a great match. And now for our main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 41. Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, taking on CM Punk. That's right, Punk's going to get that main event that he's always wanted. But is he going to get the win? Is he going to get the championship? I don't think so. And here's why. I think at this Royal Rumble, we saw Cody Rhodes take it to another level. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's not afraid to be brash. He's not afraid to be cocky. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. The way he gloated over Kevin Owens, as Kevin Owens is sitting there dead with his head, stuck on a ladder. That gave me an idea that I think Rhodes is either, I wouldn't say going heel, but he's going to go this new side of Cody Rhodes. A little less shake hands, sign autographs. I think he's going to get a little bit dirty, but CM Punk is right there with him as well. I think these are going to be great promos, building up everything. I think Punk's going to bring out this new attitude in Cody as we build into WrestleMania, because we all know Punk. He doesn't mind speaking his opinion. He doesn't mind saying things that are going to cut deep, that are going to get into people's minds, especially for a big match. And I think that's going to affect Cody as we get into WrestleMania. I think Cody is going to elevate it to another level in this match. It's going to get physical. And, I think something's going to happen. But I think Cody's going to come out the champion. I think Cody's probably going to drop it somewhere around SummerSlam or possibly even close to Survivor Series. I don't know to who. Obviously, Cena is one to consider. Roman's always going to be in that picture. But I think we still need one more feud with that belt. And I think that's going to be Randy Orton. I think that'll come later in the year. I still think Cody is going to beat Punk in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. Well, there you have it. That's my predictions for WrestleMania 41. Actually, hold on. I forgot the Andre Battle Royale winner. I think it's going to be Carmelo. Dude's going to brag about it. He's going to be cocky as hell the rest of the summer till Trick Williams comes around and starts beating his ass. But I think Melo will win the Battle Royale. So that's it for my predictions for WrestleMania 41. Tell me what you guys think. Am I right? Or am I really way off? Am I wrong? Am I stupid? Am I a dumbass? Tell me down in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, if you had fun today, hit the like button. If you want to get more wrestling content like this in the future, I'm working my ass off to get some more videos ready. So if you just subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to get notified for those. You'll be able to see more of those. And if I see the likes, if I see the subscribes, it gives me a little confidence boost. Helps me think I'm, doing the right thing, having a little fun here on YouTube. So I appreciate the encouragement. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Take care. Have a good one. And we'll see you on the next video.